Hello and welcome to the Falcon Paladin.
Hello and welcome you too.
Thank you.
Yes, a surprise to see you here today.
Is it
Okay,
though? Is it though?
no, it's not a surprise. I just figured I would say that for some reason.
I mean, we're kind of on schedule, so it literally can't be a surprise.
True, unless I'm losing my mind and forget about these things,
Also true.
which I feel like is a legitimate concern since,
Yeah.
I'm so old and everything.
It's true. The other day you didn't know what a what a 0.3 meant instead of
Oh,
yeah,
accurate.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw 0.3 times per second and saw 0.7 times per second, and my brain was like, wait, which one's faster?
Bigger
Blah.
bigger number means better, right?
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly where my brain went with it. And so I posted it in the Discord and was like, somebody help me out here. And Omicron's like, basic math here.
It's almost
It
not
was
even
nice.
math. Like it's only math because it involves a number and knowing that if it's point 7 versus
Yeah.
point 3, like and the way that relates to time. So I don't know if that's strictly math, right?
Understanding how decimal points and decimal point systems work is math.
Right, but
You don't
it's
just
reading. It's
come out of
not.
the
Are
womb knowing that.
you sure? I don't
Pretty
remember
sure.
learning it.
I'm pretty sure if you were raised by wolves, you wouldn't know how decimal points work.
Probably.
Fairly certain. Anyway, both Summer and I have been playing a ton of Cyberpunk
hmm
2077.
It's true.
I mean, I've tweeted about this, I've talked about this in the Discord, but my quick thoughts on this are one, it sucks that they released it in such a state for the PlayStation release and the Xbox release. I am
And
sorry, console people,
on
but
honestly, they like they released it not very well for the PC too, right? Like let's not.
that's part two. We're getting
Okay,
there.
okay.
So PS4 unplayable. PS5, who knows? Nobody has a PS5. It's impossible to get.
Right.
Xbox not good either. I believe the PlayStation 4 experience is the worst one that I've heard. Like just
hmm
unplayably bad.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
And then part two, to get like the game as it's intended to be played on a PC, you have to have like a late gen 20 series RTX
No, I don't.
card.
You don't need that. I'm looking at the system requirements right now. NVIDIA GeForce 780, right?
How we talked about this a little bit. How old is the 780 again? I'm gonna
Uh,
look it up.
look it up.
RTX 780
I don't-
according.
That's just the minimum. Technically, it recommends only a 1060, which
Well,
mm, I can
okay,
say that.
okay, okay. So guess what year the GTX 7080 came out in. I'll give you two
Uh,
guesses.
to 2010
Later,
later, 2012.
13.
Ooh, it's close.
They're saying you can run our game on a 7-year-old graphics card. I need someone to try this for me and show me the results because I cannot imagine
hmm
it will run on a 780. They're lying to us.
Oh yeah, they're 100% lying to us. They can't not be. Um,
Right. So it will run on like a 1080 series card. It'll run.
uh,
It's not going to look the way that they developed it or intended it to look.
not even that. Like everything on minimum, I still don't get a consistent 20, a consistent 50 frames per second. I was playing
Oh.
today and it was like dropping below 30, and then I tried to
Oh.
like um the breach a thing, and it like just crashed. It was like I could watch the frame rate kind of go down, 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 crash. I'm like, okay. I think
You're
that's enough for
asking too
today.
much. What's your card again?
It's a 1080.
Okay, so it is a 1080. So
Yeah.
technically, okay, so according to Somicron, it will run. You can
hmm
put in
hmm
40 hours on it,
hmm
but it's not going to look pretty and it's going to crash on you and the frame rate's going to be probably bad.
Yeah, but the crashing is the game, not the graphics card's problem. All right, like I don't think.
No, yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. It's the game's fault. Everything here is the game's fault. The fact that it won't run well on pretty decent hardware as far as
hmm
GPUs is concerned is the game's fault, 100%.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Like, I mean, the fact I went out there and I found a 2080 Super
hmm
for what it retailed for 18 months ago. Like this is how bad the GPU market is right now. Is I was happy to
hmm
find a 2080 Super for as much as it retailed for 18 months in the past.
Right.
That's stupid. That's so stupid.
Yep.
Anyway, but I'm
But
running on the 2080 Super, and it looks gorgeous. The ray tracing is amazing.
mm-hmm.
The just like this is what I loved about The Witcher 3 too, is you're just running around and you just stop because something looks beautiful. You just want to look at it. Like that's something that CDPR has done exceptionally well. Is the visuals have been great, the characters and gameplay and story and everything has been very good. And that's, in my opinion, that's what they've done here with Cyberpunk.
I mean, I still put like a lot of asterisks on that. Like, I can't pick up a sniper rifle without having visual glitches. Like, there are just random white lines on the screen around
Sure,
the
but
rifle.
you can't.
Yeah, but a visual glitch isn't intended. Like, it's not like a part of the game that I'm just not able to do because I have a lesser graphics card. It's a glitch. Like, and every time I pick up a sniper rifle, it does that. It's very immersive breaking a lot of the time.
That's weird. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
It has to be hardware related on some level, doesn't it? If I've never seen it and you see it a lot,
I mean,
like,
yeah, that's poor optimization, but it's not a lack of
yeah,
power, right? It's just like they didn't optimize, and now I have issues. That's how that
right.
works.
They
I will.
didn't.
I
Yes,
will.
they didn't. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna say I'll take a video of it earlier, but I'm actually at the point where cycling between weapons is so, I don't know, hit or miss that I am running without two weapons equipped. Right? I'm just running with one gun and gorilla fists.
Is it mouse scroll for
Yeah,
you?
mouse
Yeah.
scroll, and
You hit
sometimes
mouse
it just
scroll. What happens?
nothing. I got into I got a quest to go in and kill a guy, right? And I'm like, all right, I killed everyone. I walked into like the room that this guy's in, and it's like, hey, do you want to have a conversation with this person? And I was like, yeah, talk. All right, now I'm gonna kill you. Couldn't draw a weapon. I'm like, what do I do?
Incredible. So
I couldn't
pressing
hack the guy.
Alt also draws your weapon. Maybe you can try that next time this happens.
Didn't do anything. I know it does that.
Oh, okay.
Holding Alt will bring up you a weapon wheel. Didn't do
Yes.
anything.
So Alt just stopped responding entirely.
But I did remember a nifty little piece of information, which I learned from being a reckless driver, is that if you touch someone with a moving car, they instantly die. So I got into a car and ran him over, and he instantly died.
Generally true. I have bumped into people on my motorcycle, and they've been like, "Blah," and then they call the cops. And it's like, come on! Like it's. I mean, yes, it's probably vehicular assault. Like, yes, but I didn't kill you by doing that. 100% agreed. Yeah. I don't know. I've seen videos of crazy car glitches where like you bump something and it does 47 flips and like across the freeway.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of those, and I kind of wish I would. Those look really fun.
I was driving through like the desert area at night, heading towards like, I think it was just like a assault in progress. And as I'm like riding along on my motorbike, I see two cars flip up into the sky, and I'm like, that's the cars loading in. Because they were just part of the terrain. Except,
That's incredible.
I've had an issue with, the trauma team, like flying cars?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the way they're coded on some level is it doesn't expect players to be able to walk on top of them because they're flying cars and should be in the sky. But someone went ahead and used a parked one on top of a building as part of an assault in progress. Guess who tried to jump on the car and instantly died every time they did? Yeah.
Nice.
I can't figure out what else it would be other than that it's just like, well, we programmed it that players can't walk here because they're background material, right? Like, you're not supposed to ever walk on these things.
So, like, it drops your health to 0, or you're just instant death?
It drops my health to 0, I fall over, and then it gives me the flatline screen. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. I did actually have an experience earlier today where I was trying to get on the roof of a building, and I kind of slipped and fell off and ended up about 400 meters away.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because I fell, like, and so I was on the ground, and you're picking yourself back up, and I looked around, and I was like, "What? Wait, where am I?"
Right. I don't recognize this postcode. Yeah, I've
and
had
then
one of those.
my map indicator was like, it's over there. You were over there trying to do this mission. It's like, oh, weird. Okay.
I had one of those where it shot me through a building, and then I was inside the building, walking around on I don't know what, because if I tried to walk too far, I would then just fall through the earth, and that's where it decided to quick save as well. So I would die and respawn in the building.
Oh, brutal. That's not good.
Yeah. Fortunately, there was also another quick save right before that.
Yeah, they're pretty generous with their quick saves, I feel like.
Yeah, they're pretty
They're
good.
pretty good about that. One thing, I guess we were talking about this before we started the pod, but I was gonna move into, so the best armor for my dude right now is a motorcycle helmet.
Mhm.
But that means that in all the cutscenes, he's wearing a motorcycle helmet. So, like, you're having a casual conversation with somebody at a diner wearing a
The
motorcycle
motorcycle
helmet.
helmet. Yeah. So you see the I recently posted a photo of my character and
Yeah,
my 1400 armor, which I
right,
think
right.
is pretty good.
It's a lot.
So she's wearing like a beret or something, and she has red hair. When I get onto a
Yeah.
motorcycle and I go into third person view, she's bald.
Whoa,
Yeah.
really?
And if
Her
I
hair's
try,
gone?
yeah, it's gone. It's like it used to just come out and load it, like it would be bald, and then it would load whatever the hairstyle is supposed to be. Because obviously, if you're first person, it doesn't need to load what kind of hair you have.
Right.
Um, but if I get on the bike in third person and she's bald, if I try to go first person, I cannot then get out of first person without getting off the bike first.
Oh, that's annoying.
That's very annoying.
So what we're saying is the list of bugs in this game is extensive.
Yes, the list is long and varied.
It is. That said, man, I have had a great time just playing it for, 10 hours a day the last couple days.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, it's so fun. I don't know. It's crazy immersive. The quests are all very good. There's backstories and there's character, and the voice acting is consistently pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a couple times the voice acting's been like, it's all right, but it's never been like, wow, this is bad. This is line reading,
Right. I mean, I feel like Keanu's maybe not doing his best here, right? Like, I like Johnny Silverhand a lot.
That's Keanu. You can't expect more from Keanu Reeves. What are you doing? You're a madman. I wish Keanu Reeves' voice reading was better.
Is that so bad?
What's his most impressive acting performance of all time? The Matrix. Yeah?
No.
Where he's a blank slate who doesn't have any emotions, really?
Where he's literally basically not a person.
Yes. He's the
No,
Messiah.
he's got good acting.
Does he?
Speed?
No.
I don't know.
Look, the reason people love Keanu is because he's generally a pretty chill dude who hasn't been caught up in any scandals ever. Okay?
Right.
He's been in Hollywood for decades now, and people are basically have determined that the fact that he seems like a generally chill dude they'd want to hang out with and have a beer with,
Mm-hmm.
and he's never had a scandal is overweighing the fact that he's really not a good actor. We've chosen to collectively ignore that.
He's a good actor. John Wick, right? Like, you can't say he gives a bad performance in John Wick.
He does angry, sullen guy really well.
Yeah,
He does.
really well.
That's true. That's in his wheelhouse, 100%. So I think the Johnny Silverhand casting is pretty good because that's what he is.
Yeah, but
except Silverhand is supposed to have more like rage and emotion going, and Keanu is just not capable of that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just want it to be a little bit better because I feel like as an actor, Keanu is a very physical person, and just giving his voice to something, even though it's his likeness, doesn't do it justice. Like, I feel like this could be better because I'm just used to voice actors delivering voice actor quality,
Yeah. I mean, I've absolutely been like, come on, Keanu. But I've never been like, you can do better, because I know he can't do better. Like, there's no part of me who has exhorted Keanu to just do that line reading one more time and we get a better take. I'm sure the directors are just like, yeah, this is as good as we're going to get. Just roll with it.
Fair enough. Also, Keanu Reeves' best performance is going to be Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, right?
I guess. Is that even great acting?
No, that's why it's his best performance.
No. Right. Yeah, fair. I like Keanu. Again, I'd like to hang out with Keanu. It would be cool. Not a good actor. That's all.
Well,
and yeah, it would have been better to cast someone in the role who could have had the rage that Silverhand has. Like, Silverhand is a mad, angry person. And you just never get that from him. He's put out sometimes. He's sarcastic. He raises his voice every once in a while, but you never get the sense he's just a ball of angry energy.
Right. Do you think it's because
Yeah,
Keanu Reeves is Canadian and he's just too nice to be angry?
entirely possible. He's never felt that amount of rage at anyone in his whole life.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
theory.
yeah. So, do I think it would have been better if we'd had maybe a better talented actor in the Johnny Silverhand role? Absolutely.
Mm,
100%. It's still good.
fair enough.
So, here's my question. CD Projekt Red's a Polish company, right?
Sure.
So, they're like, we're going to grab an American actor for this really important role in our game.
Uh-huh. Game set in America. Makes sense.
Yeah, I guess it is set in America. That's true.
Hold on. Did you say American? He's Canadian. We literally just covered this.
Sorry. It's the same thing. Canadians listening, you know it's true. Every Canadian I personally know is basically an American who says their O's different sometimes, not all the time.
Fair enough.
Uh, so I don't know. Like I understand your market is probably America and China is probably selling in China, right?
I don't think so.
You don't think it's selling in China?
No, I
They
mean,
don't into the first person stuff.
I don't know because China's always weird about the stuff they like allow and disallow, and I don't know. Like, I haven't heard anything about CD Projekt Red being big in China.
Cyberpunk, no, it's fine in China.
Okay,
Despite it not having an official release there. What?
it just came out one day.
Streamers drew 19. Oh, okay. Somehow some Chinese streamers got copies of the game even though it's not officially in the country and ended up getting around 20 million views for the game.
Fair enough.
So they've been... What does it say? They've been using Steam. Oh, wait,
Okay.
what?
So it's not officially released there, but if Chinese citizens have access to like a copy of Steam which connects to a US server, they can download it and buy it.
Okay.
That's basically what that's saying.
Huh. So it's doing pretty good there, turns out.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, I mean, that's something that I've been thinking about is just you're a video game developer from a non-giant market, right? Do you develop your games in a way to appeal to the giant market, or do you do it, try to stay true to yourself and your own country in some way?
I don't know if there's any group of people on the planet that care as much about their country in that kind of like we need to like we're making video games, so we need to think about it as a country, as America, right? Like it's always like how can we rationalize this and contextualize it to our country? I don't ever think about things like that like you do.
Fair.
So I think
But I mean, that said, CD
but
Projekt Red's biggest thing is The Witcher, which is a collection of Polish fantasy tales they made into a video game.
right.
Okay, that's all.
And I mean, I think essentially the extent of thoughts they give to other countries was, do we do an English vocalization for this?
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
And here's the thing. If anything, that cements it within that company that they don't need to make it intentionally for Americans for it to be popular in America.
Right.
Because The Witcher is very popular all over.
Yes,
right?
it is. That's true. True. Do you think they put... So how about voice acting? Do you think they pay voice actors depending on the most popular language the game is downloaded in or sold in?
Probably.
Like, do you think the voice acting budget for English is bigger than it is for Polish, for example?
Yeah, probably. Almost by necessity, because it's like if we want, because they want their games to be of quality.
Yes.
And so we don't want to hire just scrubs, but Americans work for more than Polish VAs do. Then they kind of don't have a choice. Their budget needs to be bigger if they want anyone of quality.
Yeah. I was thinking that can get expensive. If you're going to spend as much on voice acting for every country you're releasing the game in, and you want it to be of quality, that is not cheap. Probably that is a big part of your development budget.
Probably.
Okay. And but it matters. Like we've seen what happens when games skimp on voice acting, and it's very noticeable, and it totally sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good choice. Good choice, CD Projekt Red.
Makes me wonder, like, who's voicing like Johnny Silverhand in French, and is that a big deal to them? Right?
Yeah. They had
God
Keanu read his lines in French.
So I put into Google who voices Johnny Silverhand in French, and it
Yeah.
gave me the translation. Que exprime Johnny Silverhand. It's like no. I didn't want to translate that sentence into French. I wanted who's the French voice actor. God damn it, Google. Yeah. I can't spell today.
So there's
Bruno Chill.
sure, some guy named Bruno. Why not? I'm sure everybody's a very famous voice actor within their own country that's involved in this at some level.
Yeah, I mean, it says he's a French. It's interesting. Because okay, the Google like auto result is this guy is the French voice actor specialized in dubbing. He's the French voice of Ewan McGregor and Johnny Depp. So he does the French for any of their movies. But looking at his Wikipedia page, it does not list Cyberpunk, but he is the French voice actor for Sephiroth. Which
Oh,
is fun to
wow.
learn.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, it's great. I'm having a fantastic time with it. Like, it's been a long time since I've been like, oh, I got to stop what I'm doing and cast. Because I love casting. It's great. But I've done that with this the last couple days. I'm like, I have to cast a game right now. Dang it. So, it says a lot. Again, to play it in the way they intend with the fewest glitches, you have to have a stupid, expensive video card and play it on PC. Probably have to have an SSD and like at least 16 gig of RAM while you're at it. So
probably there is a slow hard drive option in the.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the setting. I was like, what is this? And I Googled it and they're like, if you have a slow hard drive, and I'm like, what? Why would you ever? Like, who's the gamer that's like, I'm getting Cyberpunk 2077 for my spinny hard drive?
I have no idea. Someone probably. It's got to like there has to be someone, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't have put the option in.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I'm sure maybe in places like Poland, in places like Russia, Ukraine, where there are a lot of gamers, but maybe the access to SSDs and maybe the prices are too high for the average consumer to have one.
Maybe
it's for those people. Maybe I don't know. SSD tech is so old at this point.
Yeah,
of course, consoles just got it. That's what I love. PlayStation 5, like, this is so fast. Like, yes, welcome to 2010. Welcome to SSD technology. It is very nice, but like the PC community is very used to it at this point.
Yeah, it's true.
Anyway, good stuff.
Yeah,
just super absorbing, immersive, good times. Yes,
it's true. I want to talk about some Warhammer.
Oh, okay. What do we got?
Because I have a problem. It's like I got my first Warhammer minis like 10, 15 days ago, maybe.
Yeah.
None of them are painted. I've assembled most of the ones that came in that box. My brother was very kind and bought me a Dreadnought for Christmas. So I assembled that. And then I was like, you know what? It's Christmas. My birthday's around this date. I'm gonna go ahead and get myself a present. And I bought a Warlord Titan.
Okay.
These things stand at about 25 inches.
Oh my gosh. That's a lot of painting.
It cost almost as much as my first motorcycle.
Okay, that's not right. That is incredibly wrong. How? What? How? Goodness. What is this made out of? Solid gold?
No, if it was made out of solid gold, it would cost a lot. But yeah, so I've ordered that, and I'm like, well, I don't see myself playing Titanicus, right, or playing with the Titans on the tabletop. So maybe I'll look into getting a professional painter to do this. Rough estimate quote, $5,500 to paint.
$5,000 to paint?
Yeah.
You can get like Rembrandts for $5,000. Who are these people?
I don't know, but you know, they
Level of
estimate that.
detail do we expect on this painting?
I mean, decent for that price you would expect, right? I'm trying to find you the like the link to where I bought it from.
I
So
need
you can.
pictures. I need this to be like so well painted that I feel it's the real thing standing there.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can quickly send you an image of like what some people paint these things to look like. There you go. That's like a top-down view of someone's all hand painted work.
This is $5,000.
No, this is just what they put on the website. All right. Of like, here, please buy. People have painted them to look like this. Isn't that cool? Yours could look like this. Please buy.
Yeah.
That's it to scale with other minis.
Do people like do enough Warhammer fans love painting their own minis that it makes no sense for Warhammer to pre-paint them?
Yeah, that's part of it. Like they don't
Okay.
pre-paint anything. Nothing's pre-painted, as far as I'm aware. Nothing.
Although they could do both,
They,
right? They could totally sell unpainted and painted versions, and I think they do all right.
probably, yeah.
I bet more people would buy Warhammer figures if that was an option.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. I would not be surprised.
How about you? Would you buy them pre-painted?
Depends on like the quality, because like I've got
Yeah.
figures here on my shelf of like Cloud and Sephiroth, and it's like they're good, but if someone else painting them by hand is like a better level of quality, I think I'd prefer that because these are nice, but they're not amazing for things that I'd want to see every time I play with them, right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So
Hmm.
here we go. Let me send you another link. Here's the This is the builder, so you can fiddle with some of the parts when they have optional extras. So you can like swap out the parts. Be like, I want it to have a Gatling gun instead of a power claw.
Need banana for scale. This cardboard is not helping.
Uh, so it should be. I can like. I mean, I sent you another picture that had the scale of regular minis, right?
Yeah.
Like if you look at its feet, those are the ones that are about like 2 inches big.
Oh, so I had to scroll down. It was so big. It opened my browser and like I could only see the top half. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha. Shadow War. Okay, that's ginormous. Holy crap.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
$5,000?
To paint. Yeah. Which, when you can consider all of the details, right? Like it's probably not bad. Like the guy's
So,
email also sent that might include costs of other things like the paint, not just his time. So obviously
hmm,
he's working for a profit, but there's other things which is like he does structural reinforcement because obviously these things are big and heavy, and if they fall over, they will break essentially, and
hmm.
so a lot of community members have put together things that they can do to reinforce it, like connecting it with bits of metal and other whatnot that would come as part of this person's service.
Yeah, all right.
But I mean, it's a lot of money, and I don't know if I have that much money to spare for painting.
I mean, 8 hours a day at 10, I don't know, $15 an hour.
This person said that their rate was $26 an hour, and they estimated it to be a
Ah,
200-hour job.
geez. 200 hours of work?
Hmm.
I don't get it, but sure. All right.
I mean, it is huge.
Yeah.
And like, if you look at that picture with the scale, all of the little embellishments, like on his pauldrons, it's got like a black and white checker paint. That would have all been done freehand and stuff like
Oh,
that. Like,
really?
probably,
Okay.
yeah. Like, that's not
Yeah.
stickers or anything. That's that person painted that on,
Yeah.
right? Like, obviously, could have gotten a stencil or something, but I mean, that's still only half the job. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, I could fine, whatever. I mean, here's the thing: our society at this point is getting to the point where work, right?
Hmm.
Like actual hiring somebody to use their time and their abilities to do something freelance is pretty steep,
Hmm.
which I think is good. I think people should be compensated for their time and their
Hmm.
efforts.
Hmm.
And I don't know, it's whatever the market bears. Like if this dude is finding customers at $26 an hour and
Hmm.
200 hours of work, then great.
Yeah,
Good
I
for him.
mean, uh, judged by the portfolio he had on his website, most of his customers are not submitting Titans.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
Here's my 12 Space Marine minis, please paint." And it's like, okay, that's much more reasonable. Um, Titans are a lot of work because they're huge. Yeah, so I have an issue.
Hmm.
Please take my credit card away before I buy more things.
Just play Cyberpunk. You won't spend money on anything else.
Well, no, but then I'll spend money on a graphics card.
True. True, true. Yeah, no microtransactions. Cyberpunk completely free. You pay for the game. That's what you get. And CD
Mhm.
Projekt Red, man.
Yeah,
It's how they
yeah,
roll.
it's true.
I wish they I don't know. Like here
Hmm.
the biggest thing here is I we talked about this last week, just the concept of if the game is in this state now,
Hmm.
it was never close to being ready in April. Not
No,
even the tiniest bit.
no.
So whoever put out an April date was either lying or completely unaware of the state the game was in.
Mm.
The April date was never legitimate. That was some middle manager being like, "Yeah, of course we can do that." And all the devs were like, "No, please no. Please don't say April. No." I don't
Mm.
know, man. Maybe the devs were lying about it. Maybe they overestimated their abilities.
Maybe. I don't think that's likely, but certainly
No.
possible.
Well, you can be pressured into it, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure.
If you feel like you're letting your bosses down by not having it done when they want it done, even if it's entirely unreasonable, you can give dates that are wrong.
Hmm. Hmm.
Anyway, anywho, good times.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on and talk about something else, like Akudama Dra.
Akudama Drive. Yeah.
Yeah, because that finished. That wrapped up.
Yeah, and I think it nailed the landing. I think it had a good ending. I do.
Yeah, I agree. I will be surprised if there's not another season. I don't know
Ooh.
who it'll focus around because like the only three characters that are left is like an executioner and the two kids, right?
Are you talking about the leader of the executioners?
No, no, no. The chick who lost an eye.
Why do you think she's alive?
Is she not? Where's she?
She was caught up in the riots. Like,
Yeah, but they showed a bunch of like executioners just being like hiding in back alleys and stuff, and
yeah, that's true.
they're the general mooks. I'm sure the one that we're known to be of quality can like get out of
At
there.
least escape. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So yeah, you have her and you have the two immortal kids
Who
who
wandered
like
into a mine shaft by the looks of it.
they sure did. I was like, they're gonna have to climb that mountain. That's gonna suck. And then they were like, look, a tunnel. I was like, oh. All right, a tunnel, I guess. Sure. Yeah, they're just like came across the first mine shaft they found. Like, this is clearly it.
Mm.
I don't know. I feel like the story's done. I feel like the story was how Swindler became Swindler,
Mm-hmm.
how the Akudama helped the kids escape to
Mm-hmm.
freedom,
Mm-hmm.
and how they inspired the people to take down the oppressive regime, right? Their
Right.
oppressive government.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that that's everything that happened, but I
Yeah.
feel like it was. There's still something to be said about what happened to these kids. Like, do they really just wander into a mine shaft at the end? Right? Like, these are immortal beings. No
Yeah.
one moves through like time without leaving some sort of an impact, and their impact can't be like, well, this one time these people took us from this place, right? I
You
feel
don't
like
think they can just represent good, right? It just represents Akudama doing something good for the sake of doing something that's good. Helping
uh,
these innocent creatures escape from imprisonment, right?
Yeah, I mean, sure, it can. I think it can. I just feel like there's going to be another setup of story there, right? Because you still have like
Yeah.
some pieces in play. Like how does Kanto still function? Because like the boss lady executioner, it felt like she was still trying at that stage to fix things to keep her head, right? Because Kanto is going to come down and kill them.
You think
Oh,
that's an empty threat? You think Kanto can do that?
yeah, I think Kanto could.
Kanto is a collection of consciousnesses that have been uploaded into a PC. That's
Mm-hmm.
what they are.
That's what they are, but they still have been running things for who knows how long. I don't,
But
I don't think that the power to make people disappear is an empty threat because people would have caught on by now.
make what people disappear?
Uh, just people in general, right?
They've done that?
I would assume so. Like, how are they maintaining control if not through, like, how are they maintaining control? Because the executioners aren't the police; they don't decide who to kill, but the police are pretty ineffectual, is what we've seen. But they're always doing it in reference to the orders from Kanto,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So Kanto has to be able to enforce something at some level. Is my point.
Well, yes, the world build requires they do. Or I don't know. We're what, thousands of years into this mythos where Kanto is a technologically superior, very powerful nation that can smack you down if it wants to,
Hmm.
and everyone just accepts that, and Kanto doesn't have to do anything.
Right.
It doesn't have to enforce its will because it doesn't need to. People just believe.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's certainly possible. Um,
I don't think it'd give us enough to let us know either way, honestly.
yeah. I mean, the interesting thing is they talk about stuff like Courier's bike and it being something from Kanto.
Right.
So people here think that this stuff is manufactured there, or do they just mean the designs for it? Because we know nothing is being manufactured there.
Well,
And so it could just be designs because we know that the kids weren't built or raised in Kanto because if they could do that, they would have. It had to be done in Kansai. And so we know the bike is probably made in Kansai.
fair point. Yeah. Also, this bike has a functional rail gun.
Yeah.
How is for rail gun on that bike? Good heavens. I was just like, fine, it's a magic bike. I'm on board.
Yeah, it's a magic bike. That's all you need
Yeah.
to know. Yeah.
I mean, of all the stuff it's done, I'm like, okay, it can drive fast. It's got these weird grapple hooks that somehow work like Spider-Man web swingers. Okay, fine.
Hmm.
But when it was like, and it has the ability to blast an entire spaceship out of the sky, I was like, well, all right, fine.
Well, I mean, we've already seen it use its railgun a lot. So it's not a new device that it's got. Had it literally
But
in the
just,
first episode. So
but the amount of power to like take
right.
down a giant flying whatever that was craft.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed
Yeah.
like a lot. That's all. I
I
mean, it
mean,
did overheat. So
it's true. And I mean, it was also he had to like supplement his arm for one of the guiding rods or something, you know?
right, right, right.
So
Yeah,
it was clearly able to output a lot of power. Super magic bike.
super magic.
Yep.
So I don't know. Good story. I
Yeah.
just, the concept of Akudama, what it means, I think is fully explored. I don't know. It did a good job. It was good, well paced. I think every one of the characters had something to do. It was good. I'm okay with that being done. I don't know how interested
Hmm.
I am in them being like the further adventures of immortal boy and girl. I don't like, I'm not sure if I'm watching that, you know?
Right.
And if I
Yeah.
guess out of curiosity, because what we talked about last week was like, okay, so either this is a place outside of Kansai control,
Hmm.
but you have to build civilization from ground up, which good luck with that.
Hmm.
Or there's some society out there that's been outside of Kansai control for a long time and Kansai doesn't even know about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. I mean,
But
I'm
I mean,
still just curious as to what the rest of the world looks like, right?
yeah. Well, the other part of it is these kids being functionally immortal, unless there's already something like this in the society they stumble into, they're going to be considered basically dark magic, right?
Probably. Yeah.
Either they're going to be studied by scientists forever and kept under lock and key, or they're going to be locked away because they're evil. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
and unnatural.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Which is
again, why do you give these things personalities? They could just be immortal husks, and then nobody would be worried about it.
right.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's
So
very
that's my
interesting.
concern. Is like if there's some village beyond the mountains, these kids stumble in. And like maybe they don't reveal their immortality for a while, but it's gonna come up eventually.
Oh yeah, if like do they age? Don't know. If like do are
There's
they
no reason for them to age.
so they're gonna be kids forever, or are they gonna hit like adulthood and then stop, or are they going to continue to age, just increasingly older and older, but never die?
Yeah, that's the worst. That's the worst possible outcome. Let's hope it's not that for
Yeah.
these kids. I still love that little sister calls the courier shit guy. That's my favorite part. Every time because it's so innocent. She's not doing it derisively. It's just what like he says that a lot, so that's who he is, you know.
Yeah, he's the shit guy. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah, Akudama Drive, good. Not as good as Decadence, I don't think,
Probably not overall.
but really good. Really
Mhm.
enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
I
I'm on
didn't
board.
forget about it every week like Fire Force. So take that as you
Yeah.
will.
But I mean, that's just because it's you and it's Fire Force. It's not because Fire Force is forgettable, is it? Like, that's a you problem, not a net problem. Because I think Fire Force is really, really good. Like, it's.
Look, again, I do. I like Fire Force. I think the characters are great. I think the story's interesting, but I forget it exists for
Mm-hmm.
weeks at a time, and I don't know what it is. I have no idea.
Okay.
Because I'll be like, oh, it's been a week since Attack on Titan. Gotta watch that. It's been a week since Akudama Drive. Gotta watch that. But there's
Okay.
no timer in my head that says it's been a week. It's time for more Fire Force. I don't know why.
Interesting.
That's all.
Okay.
Speaking of Attack on Titan, though.
I have not seen the most recent episode because somebody
Whoa.
called it boring, and now I don't feel like watching it.
I was gonna say, let me save you some time. Honestly, can I just tell you what happens?
Yeah,
It'll
go
take
for it.
10 seconds.
Go for it. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna watch it
Hey,
eventually.
it's more about the warrior candidate kids, and they're trying to beat each other, blah, blah, blah. And there is an overarching society that is actually the overlords of Marley, and they've been letting Marley pursue this war, but maybe it's a bad thing, blah, blah, politics.
Okay.
And then some more examples of how the Eldians are Jews and persecuted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then at the very end, what kind of saves the episode is that this character who's missing the leg and has the eye patch,
Okay.
who's been talking to our young warrior candidate,
Mm-hmm.
is Aaron. The end. That's it.
See
And
that
he's like, "What's up, Reiner?" And Reiner's like, "Aaron, holy crap."
that feels important.
Yeah, but that's it. That's it. The episode ends right there. I'm like, what? And there's like, no,
So,
music time.
so, so,
Come
so
on.
you're like, nothing happens. By the way, it ends on a massive cliffhanger, right?
I
Well,
know that's what I said. It's boring, and at the very end, something really important happens and kind of saves the previous 21 minutes. Kind of. It's still kind of a waste of an episode.
okay. So now I'm basically going to have to watch that episode.
Yeah.
Secondly, he's missing a leg. Aaron's leg should
Yep.
grow back.
Yep. I'm with you on this. I have the same problems.
That's really interesting. And here, this is my thing
I
about
know.
time skips. It's like everything that's interesting about Aaron at this moment would make sense if they told the story like
How he
chronologically.
got here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
except they
Yes.
time skip to introduce mystery. What like
Yeah.
there's so
I
many
know,
unanswered
right?
questions. Like,
So
what's he
Aaron
doing?
somehow in the future ends up inside Marley, like deep inside Marley, hanging out in a hospital for invalids for people returned from the war, from veterans.
Mm-hmm.
Just sitting on a bench.
I mean, no, he was in the that guy was in the earlier episode as well. He was in the war that like the little girl threw the grenade at the train. Like
He was
with.
there?
He wasn't. I don't know if he was there, but when they're like all getting off the train, the idea is that he was getting off the train and he went to the hospital for PTSD. So it's assumed he was there.
He was fighting for Marley
Yeah.
and got injured and then got sent back on the train.
Uh huh.
Holy crap. What is going on?
I have no idea. That's okay. They better pull this off somehow.
I know,
Right?
right? So, okay, but here's the other problem. You get 13 years, right?
Yeah.
How old was Aaron when he picked up the Attack Titan? Like
He
7?
something like that. I believe
I, be- I
when they find out that they've got 13 years, the little blonde kid who becomes the Colossal Titan, he says, "So you've got about 7 years left," and this is
Arwen.
5 years in the future, so he's got 2 years
Okay.
at this point. I
He
think.
seems older than 20 or 22 or 23.
I mean, the kind of life he's living is probably aged him pretty hard.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. And he's been having little warrior candidate kid run letters for him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that'll have something to do with something in the future. But like, what? Why? What's he doing? Is it subterfuge? Is he?
He has amnesia. That's all. He doesn't know he can transform into the Titan because he has amnesia. That's it.
I guess he knows Reiner though. Like,
Hmm.
that's all. So here's the other thing. What kind of records do you think Marley has to where?
Like, where did this person come from?
Yeah, who's this person that came back on the train and is being helped? We don't have any record of him ever being in the military. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, if he just came back on the train, then sure, records wouldn't show, unless they have records of him living there before he was enlisted, in which case he's been there
Yeah,
for a while,
right. So if he snuck in,
and then assumed someone else's life.
yeah, and did what the other kids did when they infiltrated the Eldians, right? Just kind of,
Right.
we're from the outskirts, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Our
Well,
town got attacked. We're joining up. You don't know
but
who I am. I'm sorry. You know.
right. Like, I get why like that works for the Malians going to paradise, but all of the Eldians living on the continent, like the mainland, live in a concentration camp, right?
Yeah,
You
but
couldn't just say, "Oh, I come from an outskirt town," could you?
you can't visually identify Eldians. They wear the armbands because you don't know,
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
It's like the Jews. It's exactly like the Jewish people. You can't tell what a Jewish person is by looking at them.
Right.
There are some characteristics that sure are somewhat identifiable, but most of the time you can't
Right,
tell.
but how
That's
does
why you had the star.
right, but how does Aaron sign up for the military and prove who he is? Surely, if they all live in this one little concentration camp, they would have records of everyone who lives there, and he wouldn't be on those
Oh,
records,
you're
right?
saying he's undercover as an Eldian.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah. He's undercover as an
He
Eldian.
is, because he's inside the internment zone, right?
Yes.
You're right. I forgot about that. Okay. You're right. So he's undercover as an Eldian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a lot harder to fake for sure.
Right. Like, if you just come, if you're Reiner and the other kids, and you just say, "Oh, we're from a small town by Wool Rose,"
Uh-huh.
right? Like, you can pull that off because they obviously have talents scattered around, is what we find
Yeah.
out in the earlier seasons.
And communication isn't super hot.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe he just says I'm a defector, right? I've been in hiding and I've decided to join up and fight with you guys because you're right. You know what I mean? Maybe something like that.
The problem with that is if you're defecting, you have to say you defected from somewhere, right? Like, and if you're defecting, you're probably defecting, and you'd hand over the people you're defecting from.
Sure. Well, what if you just say you came, conquered my village, took all the Eldians away, I hid in the woods, and like now I'm here. I think there are ways to pull this off. Is all I'm saying.
Maybe. I mean, maybe is the best I can do. Like, but it's like
Yeah.
these people have like planes and aircraft. It's like, where was this person hiding? How did they get away from a technological superpower?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Agreed.
They
Anyway,
gotta like work their butts off to pull this off.
I know it's gonna be a lot. Man. Yeah, the time skips. I don't know. We just spend a lot of time with the warrior candidate kids, and I just don't care about any of them at all.
Fair enough.
I mean, do you? I don't know.
I mean,
I don't want them to die, but like
Right,
I just
right.
don't care what happens to them.
I just don't want them to die. I just don't care what happens to them.
Yeah, it's apathy. It's not malice.
Right. I mean, I don't like inherently care about them the same way I care about like Mikasa or Eren or
Yeah.
Potato Girl, right?
Oh,
Uh,
oh, or Science Girl. I
Sci-
love Science Girl. She's amazing.
Science Girl's great.
Or even
Uh,
Irwin. Like Irwin was cool. He's dead now, but he was great.
he was
I don't
cool.
know.
I
They're
liked
just
him.
not. They're just not.
They also don't
Mm,
have 3 seasons of character development in these kids. So I'm really
no, they
like I
don't.
don't hate them to the point where I'm like I don't want to see where this goes. I really need to give them the time, but it's like they got to give me something more than these are a bunch of indoctrinated kids who want to become titans, right? For reasons.
Yeah.
They got to give me something more than that.
Sure. I mean, some of them are true believers, and some of them are just doing it because it gives their family
Status.
honorary Marleyan status, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's the thing I hate about the armbands. It's like they have 3 colors. White is for regular, yellow is for candidates, red is for honorary Marleyans. Why not have 4 and have the people who can transform into titans be a different color to the honoraries? Right? Like, because it's one thing to give all the family status and privileges for like this service that they're doing, but these people can
Yeah.
also transform into titans, right? Like, you want those people to be recognizable on sight for any member of the military, right? Because
Right.
they can transform into titans.
Yeah.
Could you
You'd
imagine
want to
if
be
the
careful around those guys.
right, like if the colossal titan just let off a nuke inside the city because he was like, well, I feel like it.
Yeah. For sure. Well, that's part of what the training program is for, is making sure you're not giving somebody these powers that is going to use it to destroy Marley, right?
Right, right.
Because that would be disastrous. Like, you choose 5 people to be these titans and they decide to turn on you, you're done. You have to be
Right.
very careful about this. It's like if
Sure.
nukes were sentient and they just decided to turn on the country that owned them. You know what I mean?
Right, that would be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still very annoyed at the colossal titan's nuke going off. Just sometimes doesn't. Right, like
Yeah. Yeah.
first time he's up against the wall, doesn't go off. It's like, okay,
No.
cool. But then they show him like Berthold training for the first time when he got it, and he's like literal mushroom cloud.
Like obliterates an entire town. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Agreed. It's consistency is hard, apparently.
apparently.
Anyway, I'm excited to see where it goes. I hope we actually get to see some of the characters I care about. That'd be nice. I don't even have to like have them say anything. Just seeing them would be nice.
You just want Mikasa to walk into frame, wave, walk away.
I would take it, man. I would take that 100%.
Yeah. I mean, sure.
Yeah. So all these like chronologically, these time skips are just messing with me.
Time skips are bad. Don't do them.
Don't do them. We are far beyond. Like, from season 1 of Attack on Titan to where we are now is like what, 15 years more?
Less than. Has to be less than, because it was
Eren-
shortly
Eren-
13 years. So it's about 10 years, I think. At most.
Okay, 10 years. It's a good chunk of time.
Yeah, but I mean, the first show the first season did time skips, but it was like, oh, here is refugee Eren, Mikasa, and Ahmed, like retreating from the wall. Okay, that makes sense. And then here's us time skipping to the time they're old enough to join the military. It's like, okay, that makes sense because nothing could possibly have happened in that time. 5
Unless
years
there was
after,
another Titan attack or something, but sure.
right? But there wasn't, because they would have shown that, because that would be part
Yeah.
of the story. 5 years from, oh, these people have now essentially conquered their island and made it to the sea, which is cool because none of them have seen the sea. To 5 years later, we're looking at new Titan recruits. Eren is apparently a one-legged blind guy in a PTSD camp working for the enemy. Right? Like, there's a huge number of things that had to have happened for that to be the case. Right?
Like, yeah. Like, is Mikasa dead? Like, why would she ever let him do that?
Yeah. No idea. Where's her yandere powers? Come on.
I know. Mikasa's defining characteristic is she's in love with Eren and doesn't want anything to happen to him.
Right.
That's it, man. That's all she's good for. which is sad, but whatever. It's how it's written.
Hmm.
Oh, never mind. She's really awesome at taking down Titans and stuff. So that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Her
Yeah.
magic blood, right?
Her magic Japanese blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Friggin' anime writers. Amazing. I guess manga writers. Anyway.
Think.
Anyway. It's good. It's good, good. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where we go from here. Because, like, on some level, it's like, hey, the Attack Titan's been in Marley the whole time. We've been looking for this guy.
No,
We've been
no.
wanting this power for so much.
Here's the interesting thing. I think Eren being alive is a massive problem for them, right? Because he's not one Titan. He's not just the Attack Titan. He's the Founding Titan as well.
He is.
But they just want the Founding Titan. But why give up two powers, right? Like two different
Yeah.
Titans, you can have two warriors. But they can't separate which Titan they get when they eat him.
Is that an irreversible thing? Once you combine Titan powers, it's combined forever?
If that person dies without being eaten, the powers will then find their way to a newborn Eldian. So theoretically, they would split up.
Separate.
They will separate. But
So
you can't control that. At this point, they're now almost, if they want to have both Titans, maybe they do, maybe they don't. Because like their enemies are kind of getting good at fighting Titans, right? Like they've developed really good weaponry. See World War One, and then so maybe they just go, okay, it's two Titans, but we don't care, right? Because it's like these aren't super useful anymore. We need to advance in other ways now. But they still think having the Founding Titan for whatever reason will be their saving grace. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't make a whole lot of sense in some levels.
I need re-explanations as to what the Founding Titan does, because it's still fuzzy.
It can control all of the Titans.
What's the Attack Titan do?
It's a Titan that is good at offense and gains more power if you're working towards freedom.
What? Really?
Yeah. So
intent matters?
Apparently, yeah. I mean, it's said as much. I don't know if it actually does, because the guy who Grisha ate, right, was telling him that the Attack Titan is a Titan that loves freedom. And then Eren, he's just like, whenever I'm like fighting for freedom, I feel an intensive power run through me. And it's like, those two things are connected. Or maybe Eren just also likes freedom and he anime powers up because freedom.
Yeah.
He's secretly American. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, look, he's lived behind a wall his entire life, right?
It's true.
So, I mean, it means more to him than to the average person. So,
right.
That's fair. Okay. So, but what is, I mean, so the Founding Titan controls the other Titans, but so what? Like, we've already established Titans are no longer the superpower in the world.
Right.
So congratulations, you can control all the Titans, but like they're still going to get blown apart by anti-aircraft guns from ships. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I don't know why they need the Founding Titan. They just say that they do.
Yeah. What's their plan with it? They haven't been very specific.
No. Because, frankly, they have the Beast Titan because they don't know that Zeke has royal blood. So it's going to be great when he dies and like the new Beast Titan can't control other regular Titans because they don't have regular royal blood. That's going to be great.
Yeah.
And like they already use it to like drop Titans onto villages, like bombing runs with Titans. He just transforms them while they're in the air,
which is bonkers.
It's bonkers, but
like they're people, man. These are people that you're using as like bombs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's basically suicide bombers.
Yeah, it's very innovative though.
Yeah. It's not bad.
But I don't know that that's like, I don't know. At the point, are they fighting? Like, who are they fighting at that scene?
Other countries. It's just
right. But do those countries not have their own Eldians? Right.
No.
So they're all. Everyone else is Malian. Because imagine if you could just like not Malian, but like Malian as the species, right? Like they lack Titan blood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why they have to develop like 40mm shells. I mean, yeah.
Okay, because I don't know. It
So the
feels
Marlians they're expansionist, right? They're
right.
Germany
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
in World War II. They're
of course.
just trying to push their borders.
Uh huh. No, I get that.
Um, yeah, yeah. And so, people are attacking them. They're defending themselves. They're trying to expand in other areas. The
But
Titans used to be just an unstoppable force, so this was working out really well, and now it's not anymore.
I suppose my problem is we don't have like a map to look at. It's like how big are their borders now? Because for the last 100 years, they've had most of the Titans. It's like how did they not conquer the continent already?
Yeah, well, maybe it's huge.
I mean, we've seen a map. It's not. I mean, it is significantly bigger than the island, obviously.
Yeah,
But it's not impossibly big, especially when people didn't have any way to fight Titans at one point.
yeah. You'd think, well, that's the weird thing, is that this episode also introduced the concept of another nation that is above Marley,
Mm,
that has some level of control over them. It's like a lordship kind of a thing. Marley's
mm.
independent, but only so far as this other nation is cool with it.
Okay. So
So this other
they're
nation's
expanding the
fine with
opposite
the
way. Right.
yeah, I guess. So this nation's like, Marley, you're adorable. Go conquer other lands. Do what you want to do.
Mm.
Um,
But they're definitely subservient.
yeah, like this dude shows up, and everyone in Marley's like, all right, you're the guy. While you're here,
Okay.
you are the man. And if you tell us to do something, we'll do it.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
But he talks about it. It's been very hands off. He says, he's like, we haven't really cared about Marley. Do your thing. We're not worried about it.
Mm-hmm.
But now that he's in town, like maybe he has some different ideas.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I don't
Curious.
know. I mean, I guess, I don't know. There's some good conversations in this episode. The dude who's over the warrior training program,
Mm-hmm.
like he specifically says, I'm trying to reinstitute the draft for Marlians because they're fine with these expansionist wars because their own people aren't dying on the front lines.
Right.
I hope that once they start paying for this with their own blood, that we can stop this. It's
Mm.
not good for our people. And I was like, that's not what I expected from you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there are some pacifist sections in Marley, even among the military,
Right.
which is pretty interesting, I think, too.
Hmm. I mean, here's the thing. Like, it's one of those. I don't know how to put it, but it feels like the big problem that the Malians have is that their Titans aren't winning the wars anymore, and
Yeah, I mean,
the people we root for, like the people on the island, want to fight these people because they're using Titans, but Titans aren't going to win them wars, and at that point, there'll be no need for the conflict. It's like, well, these people are of no use for you. Just let them go. Like, give us the island, we'll be fine, right?
yeah, I mean, it's one thing to where you can defeat an army that has Titans. It's another thing that it's easy to do this, right? You still don't want the Eldians showing up with all their Titans because it sucks fighting against them. It's still not something you're totally into, I bet.
Right, but it's again going for like a geopolitical era in the show. Are the other islands also expansionists? Are they going to try, like, if they go, oh, the Titans aren't working anymore, we can attack into the Malians, or are they just going to be
Maybe.
called to establish borders and you know, because if that's like the one thing that the Malians kind of have up their sleeves is that if they get attacked into, they have an entire population of Eldians they can just turn into Titans at will.
Yes. And it sucks to fight against them.
Right.
And maybe eventually we get to the point where it's easy to defeat them, but right now it's still very difficult.
I don't
And
think it's
actually,
difficult.
technically, we haven't seen them lose yet. All we've seen them do is have a hard fought win.
Right.
And they're looking to the future and saying, this is going to get more difficult.
Yeah, I feel like if like they have cannons that are able to puncture the armored Titan,
Yeah.
right? Like,
You think it's
right,
over?
I think it's pretty much over, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like if they can produce those in significant quantities, which they can ring their entire like hilltop fortress with, I don't think sending it like waves of regular Titans,
Dumb.
dumb Titans, is going to do the job ever.
No, that's true. But like, I don't know, you still have to fire, you still have to hit them, you still have to
Yeah,
produce the
I mean,
weapons.
it's
It
true.
sucks. You don't want to deal with that.
No, you don't want to. Of course not.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's the other part that if Marley stops expanding, they retreat.
Mm-hmm.
Then maybe some of the countries that like got some of their borders eaten up just retake them or maybe keep pushing, you know?
Yeah, maybe.
Like it's honestly a little bit weird that both Japan and Germany, well actually Germany didn't. That's a great example. Germany post World War II lost half of its nation to Russia because Russia beat them.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it works in war is, you know, you push into Russia, they push you back and take half of your country.
Right.
So that's totally something that could happen in this world too. If Marley stops and stops being a superpower, that other countries just come eat it up.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
It's interesting to see where it goes. How
Yeah.
many like this is the final episode, right?
Final season. No,
Sorry,
that was not the final episode.
words are hard. Final season.
Yes.
Yeah, they call it the final season. Yeah,
But I believe it's also been confirmed that it's being split into two.
and it's like 20-ish total episodes.
Right. So I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the final. It's the first half of the final season.
Yeah. So it's like it's kind of like how
Rambo
like
First Blood Part 2.
or knock on wood, Game of Thrones final season part 1, right?
Right.
Versus
Yeah.
part 2. Oh, what a it's a horrible comparison. Why did I even do that? That was bad.
She's my queen.
I take it back. Just like season 8 Game of Thrones and Rise of Skywalker are just two things I can't think about because they just make me mad. It's amazing. So I just move on. That's it.
Yeah, just gotta let go.
Yep.
Don't worry about it.
Let it go.
No.
Let it go.
Stop. Copyright infringements. Don't do it.
Yeah, I think we're done.
Yep.
We are
At time.
over time. Yeah. What what StarCraft is coming up here?
Literally nothing.
There's that last chance tournament, right?
Is that
Yeah. DH Masters last chance.
interesting?
I only know it because it's named cool. It's going to start on the 12th, actually. So, a couple weeks. Got that one.
Okay.
And then we have Cheesadelphia, which is fun. And then it will be Katowice for the 2020 championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cheesadelphia is on the 24th.
24th, eh?
And then Katowice is on, oh my gosh, February 23rd?
Yeah. Katowice is ages away, which
The
is
gosh darn quarter of the way through the year. Okay, not that bad, but close.
Not a quarter. No.
No, but it's 2 months in. It's basically going to be spring.
Yeah. Yeah, like we were all making
so
jokes that
weird.
Doc's going to be a world championship for like a year and a half.
Yeah, no kidding. And hold on to that belt for a while. It looks like he has qualified for Katowice, though, so he'll be there at least.
Yeah, Doc won a GSL or a super tournament.
You just have to win one?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Good to
Yeah,
know.
I think he's one of the people that gets through on seed, like because he wins a tournament rather than points.
Is the same thing if you win a premier tournament in ESL?
I think so. I'm not 100%.
So, yeah, I don't know. So Neeb's qualified. Neeb and Australia have both qualified, even though they haven't done either of those things.
Probably on
I guess
points.
because of on points. There's not region requirements, are there? You don't have to have a certain number of players from a certain region. Actually, it looks like there are. So here, let me link it to you. They've got this like spreadsheet.
Ooh.
There's empty slots.
Where are these slots?
So scroll down left side. Participants.
Yeah. So what are these empty slots like Zerg? Because South Korea has all those players, but there's only 2 Zergs, which is why there's 2 empty slots.
Yeah. No, I'm wrong. They're not empty slots. They're sorting it by race.
Yeah.
And then that is leaving some empty spaces. Yeah. Okay.
Korea's got 10, Europe's got 5, North America has 2, Latin America gets 1. China gets 1. Combined standings? Interesting. I don't know what that means. That's not a geographical location. Let's click on that.
Combined standings is players competing in the ESL Pro Tour.
We'll be able to earn points from both standings. From regional standings, which players earn the most points?
I don't get it. What?
I have absolutely no clue.
Okay.
So who got in off combined standings? It was
Solar.
Solar. So where's
But
Solar on this list?
he's region locked. He can't play in the other stuff. He's in Korea. All he can play in is GSLs and the other non-ESL events. So he's 15 on the list.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand this. Combined.
Because if they just said that he gets in from career points, like obviously we know that he gets in from his Korean standings, but he's not. He got in through combined standings.
Yes. Which to me means somehow you're competing both in GSL and in ESL events magically.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. Solar's been in Korea for years. I don't think he's
Right.
ever left.
But I mean, ESL's had a bunch of events this year that had both people, right?
That weren't region locked.
Yeah.
Sure, but like that applies to a lot of people. Like a lot of Koreans were playing in things like TSL, and you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't understand. Good job, Solar. You qualified. Well done.
Well done. It worked out somehow. By math, we don't understand.
I don't expect you to make it to the final 8, but sure.
I like that Rotterdam is on this list of combined standings. He's literally second last with 3 points, but he earned points.
Nice. Good job, Rotterdam. Rotty.
I didn't know they gave out points for casting.
Apparently. I don't know. Is Wardy on there?
I don't know. So hold on. There's going to be, 32 people? 36? Around 36 is the first round. So it
Yep.
means there needs to be 36 players in total, right?
4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18,
17.
19, 20. We've got 20.
So that means we're still expecting 16 more. Where are they coming from?
I know, right? There's got to be just some huge standings list.
Mm-hmm. You would certainly think so.
You'd think so. I don't know. I mean, honestly, looking at who's qualified, is anybody outside of this list of people going to win? Heck no. We've got Dark Rogue, Rainer, Cyril, Maru, TY. I mean, Innovation, Stats, Trap. There's no one missing here.
Yeah, Beyond's missing.
Bjorn will qualify.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. Bjorn could win it. So, fair enough.
Yeah, there we go.
But he's a weird case because he came back middle of the year.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. Cool. Looking forward to it. Some good StarCraft coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Okay. All right. I think I found these standings that are not combined. If you wanted to look at that.
Yeah, link it. There we go.
And so... Let's see. Korea, TY is still winning. Cyril is 8th on the Korean standing somehow.
Because he did so well in Katowice and TSL 5 and TSL 6. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just add it up.
Well, okay. It says he earned, what is that? Summer, fall. Oh crap! I sorted. I didn't want to do that. Clicked on them and started sorting them. So he earned points at fall, summer. He's going to get 25 points at last chance minimum, and Katowice. So
and he only got 180 points for making it to the final of TSL 6. That seems low. Nobody got any points from that though. I guess because it was an open, they didn't know the level of quality of player that would be there.
Right. I don't know how, with so many tournaments he attended, that obviously had open brackets, right? Like, these would have had to have had Korean players for them to get Korean points. Why were his points putting him up on the Korean leaderboard instead of the Europe board?
European one.
Or
Yeah.
is the leaderboard entirely combined and it is simply filtering them by Europe, Korea, North America? In which case, if it's doing that, why is he on the Korean leaderboard?
Yeah.
So it can't be doing that. But he's still there. Like, what is it about these tournaments that made them give points to both regions? Like, this has been a weird year for regions, I think.
It has. Agreed. I don't know. I don't have answers to your questions.
I feel like last year, the only people we expected to see on two leaderboards was like Special and Scarlet, because
North Americans.
they live in Korea.
Right. North Americans living in Korea.
So we expected them to be on both or either. This is just weird, right?
Yeah. Because Cyril has not left Finland, I can tell you that much.
Right, and Rayna's on there, and Showtime's
Yeah.
on there, and Hera Marine's on there.
Clem.
Yeah.
Scarlet's last. Yeah, yeah.
So, at least, I suppose next year with no regions, it'll be fine.
Look at the way the points are distributed. Scarlet for GSL 2 got 150 points.
Yeah.
And Cyril for TSL 6 got 180 for taking second place in the whole thing. How are they doing this?
I do not know.
Okay. I want to see where Scarlet finished in GSL Season 2.
Not high.
She made it to Group Stage 2, but she didn't make it to the playoff at all, and still got more points than Cyril did for taking second in TSL 6, which was an incredible collection of talent. Like, TSL 6 was basically a preview for Katowice.
I think GSL has more points to give out because they're a longer format. Yeah, so GSL has a prize pool of 140,000 USD and 6,300 GSL points. I think because it's a longer format, it's a bigger production. TSL 6 has, a prize pool of 30,000 USD and only 1,260 points to give out. So higher prize pool and higher point pool means that gets filtered to the bottom a little bit more generously. It's not so top heavy.
Right.
Where Dark only got 250 EPT global points. Oh, that's interesting. TSL's points were also global. GSL's were only Korean standings.
Yeah. All right. Well, whatever.
Whatever.
I don't have any problems with it. I think everyone who has a chance to win is going to be qualified and going to be there, and that's all I care about.
At the end of the day, it's going to be some sick StarCraft.
Yes, without a doubt.
Yeah.
It's going to be weird that it's in basically March, but hey.
Yeah.
You do what you can do.
You do what you can do.
Cool. All right. Well, this has been a bit of a longer episode, but that's okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's totally fine. So anything else we want to cover, or we just wrap it up?
A part of me wants to talk about Ruby because you recently discovered that Ruby is an awful show, and I've been going through and rewatching YouTuber called Fat Man Falling, who does full reviews of the volumes, and they're each like an hour and a half long of him just tearing them apart and shit that don't make sense. It's been very cathartic.
Yeah, that's good stuff. You know, so what's funny is you recommended that I watch Ruby.
If you like epic fight scenes, yeah.
Back in January of 2019.
That was a while ago.
And I never did.
Good.
And now I'm like, that worked out.
Look, if I recommended it, it was for the fight scenes, which are largely still fun to watch. But
true.
I also entirely possibly recommended it to you for, like, do you want to watch something that's really quite bad because I have a habit of doing that, of being like,
That's true.
I like bad things. Here's something bad to watch.
Yeah, I'd rather watch a complete teardown of bad things than watch the bad thing itself.
Mm, okay.
That like hour and a half long H Bomber Guy teardown of Ruby is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fair. Like it explains a lot of the reasons why it's bad in certain ways and what's good about it and
Mm-hmm.
what losing, the animator of all the fight scenes died
Mm-hmm.
after season 2 or before
Yeah,
season 2?
it was after season 2. He was also the
Yeah.
creator of the world, right? Like,
Yes.
it was his project that he took to the company and being like, I would like to do this. I've done sick animation fights. I think this could bring you in a lot of money.
I just
Uh,
need some writing and voice acting. And Rooster Teeth was like, cool, we can do that.
yeah, I mean, he was already working for them, so they were like, yeah, we're willing. But it was still a side project compared to Red versus Blue. Because, and you can see
Yeah.
that by the way, like the first show handles background characters, which is
Yeah.
like shadowy figures, right?
Sure, but Red versus Blue is literally we're in the Halo engine. We don't have to draw anything. We just spawn in a Spartan,
Right, but then
right?
I think it was around like season 7 that had Monty come in and do animated fight scenes.
Yes.
So there would be hand to hand combat where they would. I think eventually they got assets given to them from Bungie and all that to do this because they were working together,
Yeah.
and he would mocap fight scenes. So Red vs Blue has some really good fight scenes in it.
It does. But I'm just saying if you need a background character in a Red versus Blue episode, you just spawn in a Spartan. You don't
Right,
have to draw it.
right,
You don't have to animate it at all. So
right.
it's already what they're trying to do with Ruby is so much harder.
Uh huh.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, some ways like the animation quality gets better, and sometimes it gets worse. Like they finally arrive in this new town where they spent an entire season walking to, right? Like one of their seasons is basically the two towers, right? Everything you hate about the two towers. They walk
Yeah.
to this town, they get there, and then they're like, and here's how we show off how this town looks. 4 still images. Like they do a montage of 4 still
Amazing.
images, and that's all you see of the town except for inside of one room. And they spent a season walking there.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Hmm.
it's good.
No.
Reading about H Bomber Guy's attempt to get this thing uploaded to YouTube was
Yeah.
just nightmare inducing. I don't know. I've dabbled in trying to do commentary on media using clips from the media, and it sucks. I'm never going to do it. But
Mhm.
he said that he uploaded it and then got some stuff copyright claimed, so he removed that stuff and changed it. Uploaded it again, got different stuff copyright claimed that didn't get caught the first time.
Mm-hmm.
It's this huge nightmare. He ends up finally re-editing the entire thing to only ever use 5-second clips from anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's 5-second clips of Ruby for an hour and a half,
Mm-hmm.
which
Yeah.
sounds like a nightmare to try to put together.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. At the end of the day, I feel like if he was going to do this, he should give up on advertising revenue that comes in through copyright, without getting copyrights, because I think the product will be better, and then just lean into Patreon subscribers, and I think he would have a better time.
Yeah, maybe
'Cause
so.
that
I've seen
feels like
people
a
do
lot of
that
work. Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, total nightmare, but it's good. Put it in the show notes. Recommended.
Show notes from a time when I
Those
used
exist.
They
I know,
do,
right?
but at the current schedule for getting our podcast, it's like I don't have time to re-listen to this to find out if there was something I was supposed to put into the show notes, right? Because I'm just
Fair.
like trying to get them out. I'm like,
Yeah. No, I gotcha. I
yeah,
gotcha.
I feel bad.
So two quick things on H Bomber Guy. He's also done big things on the Sherlock TV show from the BBC,
Mm-hmm.
and a big thing on Doctor Who, with Stephen Moffat kind of being the connective tissue between those two because he worked on both shows and
Right.
like sucks in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been kind of just all over his channel for the last little while, and one popped up, and it was basically what promised to be a takedown of Skyrim. Why Skyrim sucks.
Okay.
And it's an hour and a half long, and I'm like, yes, all right, let's go. So he starts off. He basically starts talking about how it's Bethesda, the same people that did Fallout 3, that he already did a huge video criticizing Fallout 3.
Mm-hmm.
and how people love it and how it's been ported to consoles. This is about 3 minutes. And then the rest of the video, he leaves the room and his patrons scroll up across the screen slowly for an hour and a half. That's the thing. He
That's his
posted it on
thing.
April 1st, 2019. It was his April Fool's joke. It has more downvotes than upvotes, and every comment is just pissed off people. And the best ones are people who are like, this is me scrolling through H-Bomber Guy's channel. I don't remember watching this. 3 minutes in. Oh, right. Getting tricked again. It's the worst thing. It's so disappointing too, because I'd totally watch that. I would be totally down with him explaining what's bad about Skyrim.
Fun fact, lots of things are bad about Skyrim.
Lots of things. Yes, for sure.
If you want, I have a video on my YouTube channel about Skyrim being buggy and shit. You can watch that instead.
Yeah, no, that's some incredible stuff for sure. Hey, Rumi. Anyway, whatever. Like, I put 90 hours into Skyrim, ran out of stuff to do, and never went back to it.
Right.
It was fine, I guess. It wasn't great.
I mean, I think it is largely a good game for its time. I don't feel like we need it to keep coming out on every device and people keep playing it, right?
We do not. Also, the defining characteristic of the game for me is that it was released and it was 4 gigabytes. It was a 4 gig install for a super open world Bethesda RPG.
Interesting.
I still don't know how they did that. I think it's one of the most impressive feats in all of video game design that they crammed it onto 4 gigabytes and said this is the whole thing. There's got to be some insane compression technology going on there.
Right.
That's all.
Yeah, I mean, probably is.
Good job, Bethesda. Nailed something.
So, we are over time, but it is the end of the year, right?
It is. Yes.
So, did you want to give a favorite game of the year, favorite movie of the year, real quick? Anything that you will look back fondly on?
Oh, now, man.
For movie of the year, I've actually cheated, and I've actually kept a list of everything I've watched except for YouTube content, so TV, film, anime. I've got a giant list here that I can scroll through and look at.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't know if your memory is capable of remembering everything.
It's not, but Wikipedia has a nice list of every movie that was released in 2020, so I mean...
that will also work.
And it's not a really bad year for that, because the lists are not as big as they normally are, so... Right? Because 2020 murdered a lot of movie releases, or at least moved them to later, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so what do you got?
I have a Windows error. So, I don't... I tried to click on something and nothing happened. But best things that I've watched this year... I don't really know what I would give to, the best new thing. Possibly, It Invaded. I really enjoyed that.
Very good. I like It Invaded.
I'm looking at... Because I also marked down which one of these were rewatches. Most of my movies are rewatches this year.
Right. Some, older stuff, yeah.
Yeah, but the best new movie that I saw this year was Parasite. And we watched that in, January. Although it's been a weird year for movies, admittedly.
No, we watched it after it got the Oscar.
Yeah, but we watched it in, January.
The Oscars were held in February.
Then we watched
slightly
February, after February, yeah.
Fair enough. Yep. It was a long time ago. That feels... Man, was that before the pandemic?
Yeah.
Holy smokes. I didn't realize that was in the before times.
That was the before times.
All right.
Yeah, I can actually give you my list because it's a text document.
Perfect. Man, I'm looking through this list of movies that were released this year, and it is not good. Or I never saw any of these. One of the two. All right, so here's watch list.
Yeah. Game of the year, Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Wait.
Yeah, what?
I thought you were upset about things.
I am, but it's still the game of the year.
Oh.
I'm biased, and I know, but...
No, that's fine. I mean, you had problems with some story changes they made and what they're doing with it that way.
Uh-huh. But it's mostly...
But...
Yeah, go.
No, but... I mean, I don't know. It
Like,
sounds like the rest of it was pretty great.
yeah. So most of my issues are like concerns moving forward, or everything that they expanded upon that like wasn't in the original. They like kind of nailed uh, in a lot of ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right. That's cool. I did actually watch another video from someone who played through it, and he's a huge Final Fantasy VII fan too.
Mm.
And he really enjoyed it. He liked everything about it. He loved the concept that it was going to be a Final Fantasy VII story that he doesn't know the ending to.
Mm.
Where I can understand some people are pissed that they remade it and changed the story, but for him, he liked it. He liked the fact that he doesn't know if Aerith is going to die. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Which is kind of cool. I saw where he was coming from.
Yeah, I can see the point. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man, this is an uninspired list of movies, man.
Yeah. No, there's not a lot that came out this year.
I don't even, jeez. I don't know. I'm not, I don't feel like I'm a huge movie person.
Apparently not.
Like most of my time is spent on TV shows and video games.
Mm-hmm.
Like heaven forbid that I have time to go to the movies. I don't know. Like I saw Tenet,
Mm-hmm.
which it's an exhibition of some cool filming techniques and time travel concepts that Nolan was really enthralled with, and that's it. It's basically a tech demo. I don't think it's actually a movie.
Oh, really?
Really.
That's amazing.
You'll have to see it one time. We'll talk about it.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I'll watch it at some point.
I mean, look, it's got characters. It's got a story. It's fine. But the main character's name is the protagonist. Like, that's as far as they went into character development in this thing.
Really?
That says everything.
That's like a step below calling everyone after their jobs, like Brawler or Courier. Like, just being like, this is the protagonist.
I know, but the Akudama have better personalities than most of the people in Tenet, so...
Right.
Yeah. I'm giving up. Like, I'm getting to the bottom of this list of movies that came out this year, and just nothing is striking me as being the best thing I saw. Even...
The best thing you saw was Goblin Slayer, Goblin's Crown, right? It was the best movie, and it's essentially just an extended long episode of TV.
It is. It's just a normal episode of Goblin Slayer. It was good, but it wasn't incredible. I don't know. Trying to think. So, I don't know. I've been using my Amazon Prime subscription to watch movies recently, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but a lot of this has just been me being like, I haven't seen this film, I should watch this film, and then watching it.
Mm.
It hasn't been like, I've really wanted to watch this for a long time. It's been like, this is, you know, I feel like to keep up with the zeitgeist, I should watch this stuff.
Okay. Like, you don't have to pick something that came out this year. I'm talking about best film you saw.
I know. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Mm. Fair enough.
Do I not have a watch list, Amazon? You're not going to show me stuff that I watched on your...
Apparently not.
Apparently not.
That's weird.
It shows me stuff that I bought, but not things that I watched for free on Prime, which was a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have a movie. That's incredible. I saw Gone Girl for the first time this year, and it was good, but not great. Like, it doesn't belong on the list as the best movie that I saw this year. I wish I could have seen the Demon Slayer movie, but that would have been really good.
Yeah, The Adventures of Detective Sniff. Yeah.
Yep, on a train.
Ooh.
Hey. It's basically Poirot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep looking at this movie list hoping that I find something, but my gosh, it's all so bad. New Mutants is on here.
I heard that was good. Not.
Yeah, no. I don't think that had any chance to be good.
Okay. So you can't do TV. What about not TV? You can't do movies.
I can't do movies.
What about TV? What do you got?
Probably Queen's Gambit.
Oh yeah. I heard you like that a little bit.
Well, it was the only thing that I was like, I am going to devote huge chunks of time to watching this. Like, I'm going to watch all 8 hours in 2 days. I didn't do that with any other TV show this year, or maybe in a long time.
Right.
It's so well done. The production values are nuts. The acting performances are fantastic across the board. It's emotional. It's inspiring. It's uplifting. It's really, really good. Queen's Gambit's amazing. I've even gotten over my crush on Beth Harmon, and it's still the best thing I watched this year
You're
because it's
finally
the
over
best thing
that?
I watched.
Finally over
Yeah,
that? Yeah.
I'm done with it.
Okay.
But Queen's Gambit's still excellent. It's still very, very good.
Fair enough.
How about you for TV?
Um. So I mentioned Invaded. I really like that.
Yes.
But probably one of the other shows that I really, really like came out apparently 3 years ago, called Made in Abyss, and I actually went out and bought the manga for this and started reading it because it's really, really interesting.
I'm familiar with the name. Enough people have talked about it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like it's really good, but I don't feel like it's going to stand out. But I do
Mm.
really like it. Same with stuff like The Millionaire Detective. It's a fun show, but
Oh
I
yeah.
think it gets an honorable mention, but not like doesn't take a podium finish. You know?
Right. I agree. I like Millionaire Detective quite a bit, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not transcendent.
Right.
Made in Abyss.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
How about video game?
Final Fantasy VII.
Right.
Right. What about your TV show? Come on.
I already said Queen's Gambit.
Oh, right. Yeah. Sorry, I keep forgetting that that's a thing.
I know. Yeah,
Um,
that's fair.
it's my Fire
So hang
Force.
on. So so back to Final Fantasy VII. One thing that the video that I watched, what he complained about was that if you're not direct, because it's not turn-based combat,
Nope.
it's I don't even know what you call it.
It's
Not turn-based.
it's
live action.
it's hack and slashy. What's the word? Character action. Like, there's a word
Yeah, I
for it,
don't.
but like hack and slash kind of works.
Yeah, kind of like a beat 'em up, sort of.
If you play as Tifa, it's definitely kind of a beat 'em up because
Yeah.
each character kind of handles a little differently.
So his complaint was if he's not directly controlling one of the characters in his party, they do garbage. He cannot rely on them at all. He has to be constantly swapping back and forth. Whereas in previous games that he's played like this, you can set up like macros and stuff
Mm-hmm.
to tell the characters you're not controlling, if this condition exists, then do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's always done. But Final Fantasy VII didn't let him do that. So he felt like he always had to babysit everyone in the party constantly, or it was much harder to beat the enemies.
I've played the game on normal. I didn't go into the harder mode, so it might be more of an issue there. But so the way a turn-based game works is you have like a progress bar and it fills up and they get their turn, right? And then you
Yeah.
do their action. In this, they're kind of just on autopilot, basic attacking stuff, and a bar
Yeah.
slowly fills up, and then you can push a button and give them their turn and do like a special action. So cast some magic, use a potion, or do a strong attack. So it's still
So
large.
basically, you're saying if you don't have a special attack, you're just basic attacking anyway.
Yes. So like, there's not a lot of constant swapping back and forth between what you can do. It sounds almost like he didn't know that on the controller there's a hotkey to like tell a person to do a thing without taking control of them.
Ooh, maybe he did miss that. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think that's pretty much what he was looking for. Well, because you've got basic attacks, you've got magic attacks, which are just basic magic that use MP, and then you have special attacks, right?
No. So magic comes under you need to use an ATB segment. So your ATB segment can fill up and then just sit there while you continue to use basic attacks. But if you want to cast magic, use a potion, or use a special attack, you need to have an ATB segment. That includes magic. Unless you're Aerith, in which case her basic attack is technically a magical attack, but it doesn't require MP because she's magic.
Yes, right. Okay.
Right.
Okay, fair enough.
But I do know what he's saying. What he wants is the ability to say if a person's HP gets to below 50, use your next
Heal them.
ATB to cast Cure or something automatically. He
Yeah.
doesn't want to constantly be telling them every time their bar fills up. But
Right.
yeah, I don't know. It didn't feel like a problem for me at any point when I played.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy. So here's my problem is, like, I really just want to say Cyberpunk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's fair.
There's recency bias.
Uh-huh. It's true. Look at what else you played this year, because you haven't played a lot. You don't really do that.
No, I don't.
But I know you've played Squadrons.
That's true. Squadrons was really fun.
Yeah.
I still don't think I beat the campaign. I'm very close. That's not a good sign.
I mean, you haven't played that in a while.
Yeah.
And then you also played a lot of Fall Guys.
Yeah. Sort of. I mean, definitely more than most other things I played this year. It's like
Right.
top half easy.
Mm-hmm.
Some Among Us.
You played Final Fantasy VII for the first time this year, didn't you?
Was that this year?
That was this
I thought
year.
It was late last year.
Maybe. I don't remember.
Hold up.
Hold up.
Check my VODs. I've got those saved on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Because I specifically saved them. Here we go. Oh, it was this year. What? Man, time makes no sense. I could have sworn I was doing that as late as, geez, May. Oh, I played The Last of Us Part 2 this year, too. Thank you, Twitch, for reminding me of games that I played this year. Crap, this is a pretty good year for gaming for me, honestly.
Yeah.
Dude, so Squadrons, Last of Us Part 2. I played the Warcraft 3 Reforged campaign.
That's true.
Final Fantasy VII for the first time, and Cyberpunk. Dang. And we did a bunch of like Halo remastered stuff.
Also true, yeah.
Played a bunch of Halo campaigns for the first time this year.
Played a lot of not StarCraft ones.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow. All right. So I have a list. Hooray.
Now, which was the best?
I know, right?
Obviously Final Fantasy, right? Right?
Maybe. Final Fantasy was amazing. It's always fun to be like, why is this thing from 25 years ago retained cultural relevancy?
Yes.
And then you do it and you're like, okay, yep, totally makes sense. But it's hard to understand without actually experiencing it. Yeah, it was pretty great. Also, the voice acting we did was really fun. That's not part of the game, but it was great.
That was a lot of fun, yeah.
Big questions here. I mean, I don't know. Like, here's the thing. The Cyberpunk ending could suck.
It could.
And so totally ruin the experience. But, man, it is so fun. It is so fun. Just riding my motorcycle around town is fun. Like, they've got fast travel, and they're very easy about it. They just give you all the fast travel points, I think, at the start.
Nope, they don't.
They don't?
Nope, because I just got an achievement for unlocking all the fast travel points.
So it must have been that I did the Delamine quest chain really early, and that has you running around to all corners of the map. And I bet that unlocked a ton of stuff for me.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Because I've never been like, I want to go there. And it's like, oh, there's not a fast travel point. There's always been one available.
Right. Like, there's a lot that they give you. There's a lot of gimmies. And you don't have to walk near them. I think you have to, like, be on the same corner of them. Like, you don't have to be close for it to be like, you've unlocked that.
You're, like, in the neighborhood, and they just give it to you. Yeah.
You're in the postcode. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the point I was making was I have fast travel, but I don't want to use it. Yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna take a 5-minute motorcycle ride to get there. It'll be awesome.
Yeah,
I'll probably kill 3 pedestrians. But you know,
I am very much the same. Where I'm like, I'm just gonna get on my bike and I'm gonna ride there. I know it's 3Ks away, and I could get there instantly with fast travel. But I like the ride, and although that did clue me in, because I'm like, it says I'm 200 meters away. Why does this take so long? I
Yeah,
kind of did some back of the envelope math, worked out they're lying to you about speed to make the bike
they
sound
are.
faster. Yeah.
Well, yes. And once you said that, I was like, I've been subconsciously noticing this
Mm-hmm.
because you're just driving flat down a highway and just you can see how far apart the light poles are.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going 178 miles an hour, and you're like, these poles are coming way too slow for this to be 178 miles an hour. Come on.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously they're fibbing there.
Mm-hmm.
They're Polish. Give them a break. They don't know what miles per hour is. Use
All right.
kilometers like everyone else on Earth.
That's the thing. Distances are measured in kilometers, but
Yes.
speeds are in miles per hour. Like, why?
I don't know. Because they're like, well, we're in America. They use miles per hour there.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody was like, the distances should be in miles too.
No.
I guess,
I think what it
but
is your eyes are Kuroshi, right? And that's a Japanese company. Like, and Japanese use the metric
right.
system, right?
I could see that. Also, miles as a unit of measurement in video games sucks.
Why?
Because you have to say like a tenth of a mile.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be
Well,
like
you
200 meters,
you
right?
you can break it down to feet at the very least, or yards, couldn't you?
You can, but like we don't know how to convert that as
I mean,
Americans.
you,
It's not very easily convertible in a way that makes sense.
You don't know that there's 1,623 feet in a mile?
Exactly the problem, right? There's like all the reasons the metric system is better. That's one. But like if we're ever talking about distances here, it's a fourth a mile down the road. It's a half mile that way.
Right.
It's miles or portions of miles and never anything lower unless it's very close and then it's 100 feet down the street and
Right.
that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, I'd like to point out that the actual number of feet in a mile is 5,280.
Of course it is. 5,000. Yep.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So I mean, they could just measure everything in feet and miles. That'd be hilarious.
Although, when I'm riding around in Night City, I notice that the how many meters away only goes down in like chunks of 25.
Yeah, right.
And that annoys me. Right? Like I want it to be to the centimeter, right?
Yeah. No, I get that. That's fair.
Yeah.
Anyway, so back to the original point. I'm having the most fun in Cyberpunk. It's doing a great job too. I love the balance where I can die, and I do die, but it's not so hard. I'm failing on the same mission 87 times in a row.
Right.
So normal has been perfect for that for me.
So
good. That's awesome.
I mean,
yeah. Whereas there have been missions in Squadrons where it's just like, this is impossible, and it's so frustrating. That's I don't know.
While you were playing Squadrons, there were times where I was Googling guides to be like, how is this supposed to be done? And like it'll say somewhere, oh, you must take this loadout, otherwise this level is very hard.
Yes, right? Totally.
And
that was the problem.
And I'm just wondering, did Falcon have the right loadout? Probably not.
Yeah. Well, I remember one specific mission. You have to kill a Star Destroyer, and I'm trying to do it and just dying over and over and over. And finally, I'm like, okay, I'm choosing an X-Wing or a Y-Wing. I'm getting all of the armor loadouts possible and just getting weapons to kill a Star Destroyer, the end. And then it was easy. But yeah, I had to go back to the hangar and choose the right loadout. Absolutely correct.
Right. Whew. So you're going to settle with that for your game of the year?
So Last of Us is a weird thing because we've talked about this. I think it accomplishes what it sets out to do extraordinarily well. Is it an enjoyable, fun experience? I don't think so. I don't think it was a fun thing. It was an intense thing. It was a challenging thing. It was an emotionally traumatic thing. And that's what they're trying to do. They're not trying to make the gameplay enjoyable. The fact that you're killing hundreds of people is not supposed to feel awesome and empowering. It's supposed to feel gross.
Right.
So it's in its own box. There have been other games that have tried to do this, like Spec Ops: The Line has kind of wandered into this concept.
Yeah.
A little bit.
A touch, a smidge. A bit of white
But
phosphorus, yeah.
Yeah, but for a game to be like, don't enjoy this murder, it's not, but without it being preachy, I don't know. I don't know how they did it. I don't know how they made it so that I didn't enjoy going through the game. Yeah, killing dudes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes yes, right? Sometimes you've been struggling with a level and this dude's been killing you over and over and you beat it, and that's really satisfying for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, Naughty Dog does character and story as well as anybody, and it wasn't a joyful, happy romp for
Mm-hmm.
Joel and Ellie for the rest of their lives like people wanted it to be, so they were pissed.
Right.
But they did what they wanted to do and executed it extremely well. I mean, it was a beautiful game, very few bugs, if any, that I saw.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. As far as games that I've completed this year, I'm going to give it to The Last of Us Part 2.
Okay.
But I think Cyberpunk's going to end up taking it over because I am like 50, 60 hours into this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't see how they flubbed the ending. I don't. They didn't flub the ending in The Witcher 3. They know how to write endings. They know how to do satisfying conclusions.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is it's a multiple ending story. So you can
Sure.
get an ending that sucks and maybe there's one that you would like more, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So that's it. It's Last of Us Part 2, tentatively assuming Cyberpunk isn't awesome, which it's on its way to being.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. That's it.
I think that's it.
Excellent. Happy 2020, everyone.
Yeah, no.
I was going to say something about the next year, but I'm not going to. Time will continue, probably.
Yeah, this too shall pass.
Yeah, maybe.
Other such proverbs. Bye, I guess.
Yeah, I know, right? Thanks for listening to this extra special edition of the Falcon Paladin Hour, wrapping up of the year a little bit, talking about other things. Check out the merch. Check out the show notes if those exist. Potentially, they might. And the Patreon page for the podcast is also available if you want to support the pod directly.
That's still there.
It is. But that's going to be it from us today. So thank you so much for listening. And until next time, as always, stay safe and stay healthy. And above all, please take care of yourselves.
Bye.
Bye.